I became American last year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And then South Korean intelligence was saying, now, you're their responsibility. I'm sure FBI gonna protect you.
Sure.
So when they reached out to me to come give a speech, I was excited. I was finally they're gonna protect me. And then 2 days before my speech, the head of diversity calls me.
The head of diversity?
Yeah.
At the FBI?
Yeah. And then
Great.
she says, like, we have to answer your speech.
Yeah.
And why?
You're not diverse enough?
And then she's like, yeah, because of your political opinions. And this is so funny. And then in my American interview, citizenship interview, my interviewer asking me this exact question. Have you ever persecuted anybody for their political opinion? You know, if you said yes, you cannot become American.
But you can become FBI.
Exactly. These people should be stripped their American citizen right now.
How is it that a young girl from North Korea who finally is able to escape and get over to America to become a U.S. citizen would say the kind of people leading this country, these people should be stripped of their American citizenship? And yet most Americans still don't have a clue. The Word of God tells us the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. He catches them in their own wisdom. The Apostle Paul wrote to Timothy, and he talked about the times we're living in right now. But know this, hard times will come in the last days, for people will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, demeaning, disobedient to parents, ungrateful, unholy, unloving, irreconcilable, slanderers, without self-control, brutal, without love for what is good, traitors, reckless, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, holding to a form of godliness but denying its power. Avoid these people.
I've worked on climate change for 25 years.
I worked on climate change since 73.
So you
just to tell you, because...
Do you know who I am? I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
I've worked on climate change for 25 years.
I worked on climate change since 73.
So you
just to tell you, because I was the person who gave the Club of Rome the first big platform.
People know me.
I've worked on climate change for 25 years.
I worked on climate change since 73.
So you
just to tell you, because I was the person who gave the Club of Rome the first big platform. I share with you the concern, and I think we can solve those issues only if we repair our global architecture and our global system.
I'm very important. I have many leather-bound books.
I've worked on climate change for 25 years.
I worked on climate change since 73.
So you
just to tell you, because I was the person who gave the Club of Rome the first big platform. I share with you the concern, and I think we can solve those issues only if we repair our global architecture and our global system.
And my apartment smells of rich mahogany.
I've worked on climate change for 25 years.
I worked on climate change since 73.
So you
just to tell you, because I was the person who gave the Club of Rome the first big platform. I share with you the concern, and I think we can solve those issues only if we repair our global architecture and our global system.
That is a really interesting painting.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's me taking the bull by the horns. That's how I handle my business. It's a metaphor.
I get it.
But that actually happened, though.
Whoa! On January 10th of 1963, 45 current communist goals were submitted to the Congressional record. Number 13 was, do away with loyalty oaths. 60 years later, on the very same day, Biden, Obrador, and Trudeau met in Mexico City for the Declaration of North America, which states a plan to unify North America under the ideas of diversity, climate change, migration, health, and regional security. The beginnings of a North American Union, which is a step towards a one-world government. According to law, elected officials must swear an oath that they will support, defend, and bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And through the Freedom of Information Act, U.S. Attorney Todd Callender, along with his team at Project Proper Oath, found that not a single member of the existing cabinet has a valid oath of office. U.S. Secretary of the Treasury Janet Yellen has no oath of office. U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin has no oath of office and has also failed to register as a foreign agent, which is required due to serving on the boards and conducting international business with Raytheon, Nucor, and Tenet Healthcare. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland has no oath of office. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken has no oath of office. U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas has no oath of office. U.S. Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg has no oath of office. U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services Xavier Becerra, responsible for declaring a national emergency during COVID, has no oath of office. Former Director of the Centers for Disease Control Rochelle Walensky had no oath of office. U.S. Special Counsel Jack Smith, responsible for investigating the January 6th U.S. Capitol attack, has no oath of office. U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia Matthew Graves, Chief Prosecutor of Jan 6ers, has no oath of office. Vice President of the United States Kamala Harris has no oath of office. Within 30 days of appointment to public office, all public officials are legally required to have a signed and notarized copy of their oath of office. And it appears as if no elected officials in the federal government have one. They are either non-existent, incomplete, or fraudulent. The fraudulent ones are missing signatures, are not notarized, and in most of them, the words, "So help me God," are in all caps. In the U.S. Constitution, "So help me God" is not in all caps. And this matters, as many have been telling us for decades, including the great Jordan Maxwell.
Today, the entire world of mankind operates under a world law, which is referred to as the law of the high seas or international maritime admiralty. When you were born, you came out of your mother's water. Since you came out of your mother's water, you are a maritime product. This is why, when you were born, the dock has to sign your birth certificate. It's a maritime admiralty manifest showing that your mother brought you into the world and you were going to make money. Anything in this country, if it's a lawful legal document of any kind, your name must be, according to maritime law, be in all capital letters. Why? Because you do not own your body. You do not own yourself. All capital letters name implies that you are a maritime admiralty product. You are not a human. You're not a living entity. You're a product. You're a living entity person. The actual you is represented under law by upper and lowercase name. So you are a corporation whether you know it or not. But you are merely a subsidiary of a larger corporation called United States. This is the way the law works.